Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy King Wakata, and we are live coming at you straight from the YouTubes. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm gonna just do some technical, share the space and all that, check out a few songs and shit, and I'll be right back with you. And please share, like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit.
Oh, mi tutto laro yeah. Tutto ile tutto egun. Tutto ariku babagua. Agua dulce pa' los santos, el alcohol es pa' los muertos. Ya la mando pa'l carajo si no me da un poco de eso. Hotel de 2 estrellas, nosotros somos cajeros. Esto no es pa' la radio, en la calle suena esto. Agua dulce pa' los santos, el alcohol es pa' los muertos. Ya la mando pa'l carajo si no me da un poco de eso. Dile quién soy. No pueden ganarme, soy como Flow y olvídate de ayer. No es como hoy, le gusta el rapero, en esa yo estoy. Hacemos un video, le gusta Playboy. 10 gramos en el Dodge, es un big boy. Calma, botellas son de oro y el perico duerme cara. Yo solo fumo sour porque el resto no arrebata. No me meto perco, no parco los nervios, las manos no me tiemblan. Y el gatillo está lento, eso es talento. Eche pa' los muertos, eche pa' los muertos. Cabrones lo entierro, palabras son balas. Abre el cerebro, roncaña, levanta el espíritu adentro. Eche pa' los muertos, eche pa' los muertos. La vida es sagrada y también negociable. Vivir eso es caro y morir es de gratis. Por eso hay party, por eso mezclamos el Henny con Molly. Corremos la calle y somos criminales. Eche pa' los muertos, eche pa' los muertos, eche pa' los muertos. Soy ángel del diablo, demonio de Dios. La letra es mi fuerza y mi espada mi voz. Eche pa' los muertos, eche pa' los muertos. Agua dulce pa' los santos, el alcohol es pa' los muertos. Ya la mando pa'l carajo si no me da un poco de eso. Apela a 2 estrellas, nosotros somos cajeros. Esto no es pa' la radio, en la calle suena esto. Agua dulce pa' los santos, el alcohol es pa' los muertos. Ya la mando pa'l carajo si no me da un poco de eso.
Estamos en la calle fumando espinaca. Popeye muy fuerte, estilo pirata. ¿Y ustedes en qué? Están olvidados, memoria del año pasado. Y dime por qué están tan picados. La envidia los tiene virados. Y yo sé por qué, le faltan cojones para hacer lo que quieren. Si está muy caliente te rompo la fiebre. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ellos quieren verme down, down. Chicle, colpa para que regrese, ya yo vine. Mi vida es la movie, no voy pa'l cine. Matando ese toto, yo estoy pa'l crimen. Estoy pa' esto y soy capaz. Escupo verdades y tú las tragas. Copa está llena y quieres más. Me canto un chihuahua y me guillo de nada. Basta de juego, me pongo serio. Yo colo metales como magneto. Plomo en tu cara como barbero. Encima de tu calva como sombrero. Placa, lo dejo botando espuma como botella de Fanta. Placa, placa, le dejo el cerebro en el aire, parece el wifi. Waka. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tú no haces nada aquí, no me ronques Negatli. Soy Miami con el hit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pistola está nueva, ready para la acción. Cerebro en el aire, parece avión. Metal en la espalda, parece camión. Se lo con la cara, producto Avon. Dime, ¿cuánto da para la guerra? Lo mato con la pierna, rajándole la pepa como huevo de caneca. Dile, soy yo, soy yo. Pide más flow, barba fuerte, Fidel Castro. Cuídate con el gancho. Cuando suelte con la barra no quiero lloriqueo. Le abro del casco, parece coliseo. Le tumbo un canto, operación de cerebro. Sala cirugía cuando Leo parece un blon. Como lo rajo por el medio, línea por línea, le falta un montón. Tienen tabla de Ouija, son bruje cartón. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ellos quieren verme down, down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ellos quieren verme down, down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ellos quieren verme down, down. Yo ando con los míos, si estás buscando un lío. Río, 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 río. Yo con los míos, si estás buscando un lío, tu cuero está conmigo, se moja como un río. Yeah, we from the streets, but your bitch too. Shorty tiene hambre, está buscando el menú. Yo ando con los míos, si estás buscando un lío, tu cuero está conmigo, se moja como un río. Yeah, we from the streets, but your bitch too. Shorty tiene hambre, está buscando el menú. I come from the bottom. Yo sí que soy de los bloques. De los tiempos de antes. Talking back passes, token. Dando clase al que ronque. Evita el roce. El pasto explota pulmones. This shit's alright like COVID. A ver quién se pone. Las balas vienen en el dron y la pompa parece homosexual como sale del closet. Yo ando con lo mío. Si estás buscando un lío, tu cuero está conmigo. Se moja como un río. Yeah, we from the streets, but your bitch too. Shorty tiene hambre, está buscando el menú. Mami, venga acá, y dame con el tra. Mami, ponte tra. Quiero darte todo, déjate llevar, muévete con el flow. Lo mío, si estás buscando un lío, tu cuero está conmigo, se moja como un río. Yeah, we from the streets, but your bitch too. Shorty tiene hambre, está buscando el menú.
Yeah, y'all stop. Sorry. I decided, to make my face a little bigger, but it's also like a little bit of a pain in the ass. So, all right.
Watch me set the world on fire. They all wait for the ashes to fall.
All right. Let's get to it.
Want me to stumble, to fall. Wanna see me grow. This is me in the land of the unforgiven. Time keeps slipping, hearts keep skipping. God's not dead, I still hit.
All right, we're gonna do our little UFO summer. That's the vibe. I like it. That's good background music. Also, Tuba just put out a music video for this joint, so shout out to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, things are happening in ufology. Things are happening in ufology. We outside, If you can help, man, make sure you donate. You know what I mean? If you can't donate, that's fine with me. Just make sure you like and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. So the first thing, we're gonna get to the scientists and shit. We're gonna get to the scientists, missing scientists and all that. First, I want to check this out. So first, I want to check this interview out with Tim Burchett, and I want to hear what he's got to say. Because to be honest, man, a lot of these debunkers and shit throw a lot of dirt on these politicians, which a lot of politicians deserve a lot of dirt on them. But on this subject specifically, I find it a little bit weird. Because it's like, oh, you're trying. I want to start with this. Awesome sauce. We're going to start with this. And this is when Trump announced that he was releasing the UFO files. Let's get into it.
Secretary of War to begin releasing government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena.
We've seen too much. I've seen too much. So I think it's time that they come clean. I don't know if it's about little green men or flying saucers, Mr. Morgan, but I do think it's about...
I forgot that you guys can't see the whole screen and shit. Data, what's going on? Data Phenomenon in the house. What's going on, my guy? We're going to go over this interview. We're going to talk about a couple things. And recently, since you're here, I can talk to you about it. I had a recent run-in with Mr. Jon Stewart, not the comedian, the ufology Jon Stewart, in which he felt some type of way because I called him out for posting obviously AI videos and trying to pass them off as some type of real, which I feel is, for lack of a better word, predatory tactic for views and shit like that, and that counts as as grifting to me. We got Alien Girl in the house. Good morning, UFOs in the house. What's going on? And he thought it would be cool to, I guess, insult me. So we'll get to that. But I want to go over this interview because, for me, Burchett, Luna, I forgot the other gentleman's name. He's wearing the glasses now. That Grush is one of his staffers now and shit like that, helping him get shit together. These people have received briefings on classified materials, and they're coming out and telling you, yeah, there's something here. And it's almost like this shit just goes over everybody's head. The video John posted was old too. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know there's a certain delay on this. I want to try to get rid of the delay. I don't know how to do that. I'll have to sit down and fuck with the settings and shit. But let's get into this.
Disclosure, it's about transparency.
Is America, is the wider world ready for the stuff that you've seen and heard?
It's not the government's job to decide what I can and cannot handle. They look down upon people like me and they joke about it and they laugh about it behind my back. I've got a big mouth. I'm sick of the American public being lied to about a lot of issues. If that makes me a target, so be it.
There you go.
Back in February, President Trump ordered War Secretary...
Like that type of attitude, even if it's lip service type shit. But that's the type of attitude we actually need people to have. That's my 2 cents on that.
Pete Hegseth to prepare the release of the UFO files. The announcement followed comments by former President Obama, whose admission that aliens are real was described by Trump as a leak of classified information. It's fair to say that Hegseth and the War Department have been a bit tied up recently, but the president now says the process is well underway and the first wave of documents will be released very soon.
You remember I recently directed the Secretary of War. How good is Pete Hegseth doing, by the way? To begin releasing government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena. And I figured this was a good crowd because I know you people, you're really into that. I don't know if I am. So I'm pleased to report today, I thought I'd save it for this crowd because you're a little bit out there, you know, a little bit, that this process is well underway and we found many very...
And we just appreciate the way Trump just kind of told them, like, yeah, you guys are a little bit fucking crazy. Which is something that needs to be said to both sides of the aisle. So it would have been hilarious if I see Obama do something like that. Yeah.
Interesting documents, I must say. And the first releases will begin very, very soon. So you can go out and see if that phenomena is correct. You'll figure it out. Let me know.
And with this whole you'll figure it out thing, like, do you guys think that might be one of the things, like they're not allowed? I didn't see the Piers Morgan clip. I've been busy lately. You know, everybody's busy, brother. So that's what I'm here to do. See, I'm helping you out right now if you have enough time to watch. Do you guys think that this is part of the process? Like, they can't just come out and tell you, for whatever reason, whatever it is, everybody has to make the connections on their own? Like, you think that's part of their thing? Like, nah, we just can't come out. You have to make these things mentally connection. Like, maybe the realization of it. You know how you ever been doing a word search, right? And you're stuck on a word and you just can't find this fucking word. And, you know, if someone comes in and finds the word for you, you kind of like, fuck. But if somebody comes in and says, well, I see it from here, and tells you to, you know, turn the paper or something, or maybe they show you a whole nother word, all of a sudden you start seeing all different types of, you know, words. I think it works a lot like that, like ideas. Like, let's say I say something that, you know, whatever, I put an idea out there that you've never thought of, nobody's ever thought of, and it's like, oh shit, yeah. Now from that idea, well, you could do this and that, you start stemming other ideas. I don't know, bro. I'm just kind of guessing here.
Well, thousands of documents and images will reveal intelligence on unexplained aerial phenomena, or UAPs as they're now known. Successive governments have kept the files secret due to concerns over how the public would handle apparent evidence of superior alien life. Republican Congressman Tim Burchett sits on the House Oversight Committee. He says the public can handle the truth. He's also made headlines by describing military briefings on underwater alien bases. And he joins me now. Congressman, thank you very much indeed for joining me on Uncensored.
Thank y'all for having me. It's a real pleasure to be with you, Mr. Morgan.
Well, let me start with a very direct question.
Yep, I think that's what it is. It has to do something about us having to figure this out on your own. It has to do something. It's like a problem. Think of us like the fucking crows in the scientist thing, and they put a problem and you have to figure it out. And what's our carrot? Technology. Like, we think of ways, we want to do something, we want to create something that's technological or helps us do something. And once we reach that certain plane, we get the fucking whatever, the carrot. I don't know. If not, destruction, that's the stick.
Do you believe aliens exist?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. I'm a Christian, and I'm on the forgiving end of the Christian spectrum. I'm not here to proselytize or save your soul, but I just tell you that for background. You know, Genesis 1, chapter 1, God created the heavens and the earth. You look at the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel saw the wheel, and it described a wheel within a wheel with some sort of landing craft, landing gear that came down from it. In a wheel, back in biblical times, the most advanced technological machinery they had was a wheel. So that's what they were describing as close as they could describe it. We've seen too much. I've seen too much. Not myself personally, but when I've been briefed by government officials, video, pictures, some of the best trained pilots in the world have described having close collisions with some sort of aircraft or apparatus. And so I think it's time that they come clean. I don't know if it's about little green men or flying saucers, Mr. Morgan, but I do think it's about disclosure. It's about transparency. And you, as a member of the media, should be all for that regardless. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of dollars on.
Yeah, listen, let me be clear. I'm of the view we should be as transparent as possible about these things. I find it impossible to think that we are the only creatures that exist in the universe. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. We're a tiny pinprick out there. There are gazillion galaxies, this massive universe. Of course there's other stuff out there, is my instinctive feeling. But as a journalist, I do like to rely on cold, hard facts. So I guess the more difficult question for you is, you've seen and heard about what we would describe as phenomena, I guess, but it's unexplained phenomena. Have you ever seen any cold, hard, irrefutable factual evidence to support alien life?
Well, unless dozens of federal authorities are lying to me and pilots are lying to me, I get, and the pictures and videos and things they've shown me are complete fabrications. And
Pictures. They've been talking about videos a lot. The pictures they showed them, I guarantee you the pictures has to do with the biologics. Now, transparency. Yeah. They're lawyers. They're not going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you enough. They're going to give the Trekkies what they want. Like, there's people inside that want to know about the technology. They're not going to do that. They're never going to say Bob Lazar was telling the truth. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to tell you, yeah, they're out there, but we don't know what they are. And none of the people that claim that they worked for us ever worked for us. We don't have any documents that say they did. Like, they're going to say some bullshit like that. Yeah, so they're going to give people the lore. Probably what they look like. Maybe how long, they think they've been interacting with humans. And they're going to, and some over top dressing information that they're going to be like, that's all we've been able to gather. We don't know where they're coming from. We think they're in the oceans, but we haven't, been able to verify that. Like, they're just going to do shit like that. And that's what you can expect. But the biologics, I'm very interested in, because I don't think it's from crashes, the biologics. I think it has to do with this archaeological discovery thing. And what they're going to find is maybe like a dried up, mummified alien body type shit. You know what I'm saying? If it was locked in this fucking ship when it died or something like that, I think is going to happen. Yeah, that's more than good enough. Scientists will definitely pick it up.
If they are, then I guess I haven't. But have I seen a craft or anything fly over me that was unidentifiable? No, sir, I have not personally. No. But I do believe, I have to question why a pilot, some of the best in the world, would risk their reputations coming forth and telling me this stuff. And the descriptions they gave were very vivid and very similar to what civilians and people and somebody even I know back 40 or 50 years ago had seen, and the descriptions were almost identical.
Side sleeper snorers are switching to this.
Almost identical. You know what it is? I personally think that imagine like a detective, they're trying to hunt a serial killer, right? You're gonna have your copycats, you're gonna have these weird people that want to take credit and all that. So they usually keep certain things to themselves, right? Um, maybe they have certain things about these things, these beings, these non-human intelligences that is purposely kept out and covered up with a lie. Like let's say, just for argument's sake, um, the real NHI are with three fingers, right? Let's say they're three. Just because we have examples of bodies with three fingers in Peru. Um, we've always seen a lot of aliens that get shown with regular hands or a weird hand and four fingers and shit like that. What if that type of shit is on purpose? What if some of the people that have came out about UFOs, and I don't know who came out and said what or how they look like and all that. Um, what if they were or given information, or some of the information that they received had already come down with certain misinformations in it, right? Let's say I'm writing the document about the UFOs, right? And this about the body, and the person below me is going to take this and they're going to file it or send it to the appropriate people. I'm gonna keep certain things out of this official document on purpose, so that way if anybody on that side leaks it, you know what I'm saying, I know where it came from. And it might be, rather than three fingers, they had, you know, they had six fingers with suction cups. And you know what I'm saying? And that goes with the description. And you change little things about it that only you know, and you keep a separate report that is with the people you trust most, I would guess. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. I'm kind of spitballing here. Yep, Disclosure Day shows three fingers too.
So what were they? What are you specifically referring to there?
I had a friend of mine who was in the Navy, and I was on one of these TV shows that you've been on multiple times. You know, it's funny when they film you, they'll film you sometimes for 15 or 20 minutes, and then they'll use it for 7 dadgum episodes. So I'm just thinking I'm on one episode, and I was in Nashville, Tennessee, of all places. I was at a dinner, and a guy used to be in the legislature in Nashville, but he's no longer in Nashville, of course, because that's just where the state capital is. He called me, and I remember picked up the phone. He said, "Timbo," he just said, "I saw you just on this alien show," and I thought, he was going to make some joke to me about it. And he said, when I was in the Navy, and he described a situation where they were on the deck of a ship, and this craft flew over them, and then it took off without any noise or any disturbance around them. And he described it as something. I mean, he's a country boy, and I'm more or less a country boy. He described it as something about 2 city blocks, and he said it was circular in shape. And then he said when they went back to port, these 2 men came on the boat with in suits and suitcases or briefcases, and debriefed them and told them that if they talked about that, they'd be busting rocks for the rest of their life if they were lucky. And none of them.
That sounds a lot like the Bill Cooper story too. I don't know if y'all know Bill Cooper. Check out the Bill Cooper interview. Sounds a lot like that.
Talked about it. I mean, that's just back when people did that. Nobody was looking for a book deal, or the internet wasn't around for them to get clicks on it. And then when I came out, I started talking about all this to folks. I'd get calls from people, and I got a call from a former Air Force officer who described eerily something of the same shape, the same color, the portals that were in it. And, it just, and then just this last week, I was in a skiff, briefed on some stuff that was, didn't look anything like that. There's like 3 or 4 different groups that you see. There's this classic saucers. There's something that you and I maybe, or the scientific community, to describe as plasma. And then there's some of this other stuff that's unknown out there, or wedge-shaped things. So there's several different varieties that have been spotted throughout recent history, and these people had no connection with each other. Again, our military. If I don't know if you know this or not, sir, but if they make a sighting like this, they're pulled off the line and they will get a psych evaluation. They will literally get a blemish on their records. So it's not encouraged. And again, and when I have some little punk with a man bun who's an unelected bureaucrat telling me and a bunch of military people that the president is on a need-to-know basis, I think that tells you we've got a real problem within our government, and it's worldwide.
All right, find the staffer with the man bun, son. We need the man bun staffer. We need to find the man bun staffer, okay? The guy with the man bun, we need to find this guy. Who's the man bun guy that's stopping disclosure? Or, as Data pointed out, it's not very much disclosure. It's more like transparency. Why don't they ever describe the level of detail they see in these photos and videos? Not specifics, but a basic 4K HD full color 12 foot from Hall type. Maybe, you know what? That's a good one. Maybe, that's a good question to ask. I've seen you interact with Ask a Poll and all that. You should tell him to ask one of them that. That's Data. That's a hell of a question. Maybe they have already asked and we're too stupid to know it because we don't pay attention to shit. But please, yeah, that's a hell of a question.
I feel like this is something that's being held back for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I just want the answers.
So you believe? I know that you've been right. You've been very vocal that you think there's been a sort of big cover-up by people at the Pentagon, successive governments, and so on. President Trump is clearly teeing us up for the release of all sorts of information, documents, images, and so on. Do you have any knowledge of what we're going to be seeing and when we will see it?
No, I talked to the president, had a pretty lengthy conversation, and this was part of that conversation that I would like to just see the disclosure. My problem with that is President Trump, he's my friend, is that he just doesn't know the questions to ask and doesn't know if the stuff they're giving him is stuff that we've already seen before. It's just a reiteration of things. I mean, there's documented cases of these things flying over nuclear facilities, and the nuclear facility has a complete shutdown. And then when we ask a government official about that, at least when I did, I was told, we don't have any data points on that. Now, what the heck does that mean?
They don't have any data points. What that's lawyer language, right? Because what he's saying is, we don't have any data points on it. Why don't you have any data points? Well, after so-and-so procedures, the data is taken by so-and-so, and they'll check it for, whatever faults. So what they're trying to say is, you can't prove that it happened. We can't prove that it happened. They might know that it happened, but they don't have any actual paperwork, paper trail to prove that it happened. Everybody that works there and all that's like, yes, this happened. We remember this happened. And that's it.
Documented case. You can research it. You can read about it in several different places. But I worry about that because you remember when it first came out, and a lot of people were screaming and yelling about it. But when it first came out, was what I think really set it off was I was standing in Washington. I was going somewhere, and TMZ, a reporter for TMZ, had a camera on me and said, "What do you think about this new report that's coming out?" And I said, "It'll, it looked like somebody shot it with a 12 gauge. It'll just be redacted points." I said, "And it's not going to come out this week. It'll come out weeks later, because what happens is they issue the report, and it probably has a lot of truth in it. And for whatever reason, the intelligence community will censor it, and then that's exactly what happened. It was just a blacked out, full of nothingness, and had a few sentences in there that were legible. And that's what happens almost every time. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen with this. I have no faith in our federal government will release any of this stuff.
That's the sound of an American.
And that's the
hard at
truth,
work.
man. Like, we need to find out, like, it's like who is the people in these unelected positions, because they talk about them all the time, right? So we need to start putting these people out on blast. Like, who the fuck is Joe Schmo sitting here telling us we can't have this information? This is my thing, my people. This is the problem. We need to find out who the fuck are these people. That's what we need to start pressing. We need to start finding out who are these fucking staffers. Who works for the fucking, I don't know, the who's the what you call that shit? The people that go in between, the consigliere, whatever the fuck word they have, the for the different intel communities. Like, who are these people that are stopping information from going to one side to the other? There's a specific motherfucker that says no, this shall not pass. We need to find out who the fuck that is.
You've said in September last year that you think aliens could be in 5 or 6 underwater bases off US coast, which is an extraordinary claim. Do you have any evidence to support that?
Well, I haven't been in those. I haven't been underwater, but yeah, I talked to a man who was an admiral in the United States Navy, and he described those areas. That, and my point on this is this: there's 5 deep water areas. We have a lot of sightings in the air over that. We have cases where something big as a football field has been traced on our sonar. It went over 200 miles an hour, and it's happened more than once. And again, we know more about the surface of the moon than we do these deep water areas. It just seems to me the probability of something traveling light years is beyond my realm of comprehension. I know quantum physics says otherwise, but I didn't take that at Beard Junior High School growing up, so I'm not really sure about that. But it would just seem to me if something was here, that's how it would do it. And is it possible? Is it the truth? I don't know. I just stated that is something that's been discussed more than once, and it's been discussed at some very high levels.
You've been quite apocalyptic in some of the comments you've made about what would happen if all the stuff that you've seen and heard gets released. You said the country would come unglued if they would have heard all that I heard. You've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. You also said the information could set the earth on fire.
Yes.
Scary stuff. I mean,
it's very simple. It's only scary for, Burchett seems to be like one of those people that is religious, but they're not like knee deep in it. For, religion, the thing about religion is that if you're way too into it, it kind of becomes your personality, right? And what happens to a person when you tell them the whole structure of their personality is based on a misidentification? What if the whole basis of your personality is what you thought was a god was really a non-human intelligence that, for lack of a better word, has a life and death cycle. Like, these things live and die. Like, I don't know if they, if there's some type of alien. Mr. Burchett believes they're aliens, so let's just say if your whole ideology and personality and worldview and the whole basis of who you are at the core of your humanity is based on the idea of a supreme being that will, somehow reward you in another life if you are a good person, or punish you if you're a bad person. And then that just gets broken with the idea like, no, these things are aliens. Now, is there more to that? This idea of a heaven and hell, is it really a dimensional ascendant ascendance or a dimensional descendants. If you're an asshole, you don't ascend. If you're good, you ascend. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever you do in life, you could become a millionaire and all that. But if you were an asshole, you go to a lower dimension, right? But same way, if you were rich and you were a good person, that doesn't mean you gave out all your fucking money. Just saying, if you were a good person within your heart, you know what I'm saying? Like you move into an ascended type of universe. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Is there a certain level of ascendance? Um, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It would be a whole lot of gray area in between this. I understand. But maybe what if that is? What happens to the world's religions when they're faced with that? What happens to the world's religions when we realize, oh, we have been communicating with these things and they have images of 2,000 years ago, of 4,000 years ago. And they're showing you the people that, we see as prophets as communicating with them and them trying to guide them the best way they could or that they could understand. And, there goes your religion. There goes your religion. Like, so what do you do then? They're gonna scream AI? Maybe that's why AI is being created as a way to help motherfuckers' mind cope with whatever's coming. Yeah, that would mess up the test, right? Exactly. Yeah. They can't tell you that because you won't be able to handle it. Think of the Plato coming out of the cave. You see how Plato broke it down in three books. The first one is explaining to you what's going, the past. The second one is explaining to you what's going on, and the future one tells you what happens when you leave. But by the time you get to the third one, you already know the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's kind of it. Like, the whole idea of predictive programming and all that shit is almost like, if okay, I understand this. Okay, this what we doing. Like, I got it. These guys are assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's supposed to be this way in a way. And like he said, like, you can't just go tell people, yeah, it's all made up. You kind of have to give them little ideas and let them reach the point where, like, yeah, okay, we get it. I believe that's what's going to happen.
Is the world, is America, is the wider world ready for the stuff that you've seen and heard, or is it best we just don't know about it?
They need to be. And that the quote about setting it on fire was a little taken out of context, but that's okay. I don't care. Yeah, I think we should know about it. Whether it's not the government's job to decide what I can and cannot handle. That's a arrogance that these people have, and they look down upon people like me, and they joke about it and they laugh about it behind my back, or members of Congress will say smart aleck stuff to me, and yet several high-ranking members have come to me and stated that they had seen something. Either one was in the military, was watch on their, I believe it was their ship they were on, night watch, and spotted some stuff. Heck, Jimmy Carter, former president of the United States, claims he saw a UFO. So I think I'm in pretty good in a pretty good footing. And over half the population, they've done polls, it's over 55% believes that something else is out there. And as you stated, I mean, we are one grain of sand on a billion beaches. And so I think, but some of the stuff I've heard is pretty troubling. It's very troubling to think that we.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, come on. Why you
She's been
gonna
on
do that
groceries
to me? Just when you about to get to the juicy shit. Jesus.
Resistance, and then we have aircraft, $500 million aircraft with some highly trained professionals on it that are put into harm's way, and we've had to scrub missions before because something's out there, and that the Pentagon claims that they have no knowledge of it, and it's not going to be ours, sir. And because if it was ours, we wouldn't risk risk those lives, and we value life. I think it's pretty apparent with President Trump spent untold millions of dollars to rescue that pilot, which he should, because dadgummit, we value life, and it's very important to us. So, do I think it's China? I'm always asked, don't you think it's China or Russia? Well, Russia wouldn't be bogged down in Ukraine if they were there, and China would own the world. I'm not so sure they don't now, but because of the greed of some American politicians. But I do think that if they had this knowledge and technology, the world would look like a completely different place. And I don't think it's ours, because we're not going to risk our.
I mean, it's true. You know what I'm saying? He's not lying. I mean, during the interview with Bob Lazar, I think it was the Joe Rogan one, Bob Lazar explained why he doesn't feel like governments should have this technology type thing, or he's happy they haven't figured it out, because he said instantaneous weapon deployment. That means, we don't have to create a weapon out of it. We could just use it to drop the bombs off, and we could do it instantly. You can't stop that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. Imagine if we could literally just speed of light, go to the middle of Iran, drop a nuclear bomb off, and take off. Who would be able to say it was us if we had that type of technology? Or what if, if China, like, nobody would be able to say, to explain that, bro. Just pop up a couple thousand feet in the air, let the bomb go and disappear. That's crazy work.
Finally, Congressman, I mean, you obviously have a lot of information which could be very explosive. Have you, and there are people, clearly you believe, who don't want this information out there. Do you ever fear for your safety? Have you had any threats telling you to shut up?
Oh, I constantly have death threats on my life, sir. I've been warned many times about doing certain events, parades, things like that. I'm not sure if it's about this issue or just that I've got a big mouth, and that I don't filter it, and I'm sick of the American public being lied to about a lot of issues. And I guess that if that makes me a target, so be it. But yeah, when I go out, when I'm at events that's announced I'm going to be there, I have to have security there, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on my farm for security out here. We know when somebody gets out here on my acreage, and it's we do take precautions. But on this issue, I don't know. I worry about it when you see 10 or 11 people that are scientists that just disappear or die mysteriously, leaving their house without any identification. There's something going on there. I think the message is being sent. I've described it as if you're in the mob and you own a nice restaurant, and you're afraid your chef's giving out the secret recipes to the competition. You take him out? Probably not. You might rough up a few bus boys or something, just kind of send the message. But not that any of these people that disappeared would be bus boys, but I think y'all in the media need to start paying attention to that and start asking questions, and quit taking the government's side on this thing about what's going on in this country.
Right.
Well, it's interesting. I was going to ask you about that, but you preempted it. President Trump says the US is investigating the mystery disappearance of 10 prominent scientists, including some who worked on sensitive space and defense matters. They say all 10 are missing or dead. It's going to be fascinating. I agree with you. I mean, you should certainly have the media asking difficult questions.
Well, this is the thing. You're not going to see it if you look at it just as this one event. What we need to do, the internet sleuths, we need to start going back and look at when, top scientists in their field die in mysterious ways. Airplane crashes, you get a 30-year-old scientist that works out, catches a heart attack out of nowhere, or commits suicide, or just up and disappears. There's several several theories for me on this. One of them is, I think what's going on is that some of these people, they aren't dead. I mean, they disappeared. I don't think like some of them like they're not dead. I think it's a very high possibility that the government has decided to take them in for protection because whatever's coming out might implicate them, and that would make them a target for different governments. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Maybe some of them didn't want to go. You know what I'm saying? And they had to be dealt with. Um, you know, maybe some of them were targeted because whatever they were working on inadvertently was leading them to something they want to keep secret, right? And it's like, nah, we can't bring this guy on board. He can't pass a security check. Well, brother, he's studying whatever the fuck, and all he has to do is blah blah blah, and then he's gonna figure out, this, that, and the third. And what the fuck do we do then? All right, man, send in the team. How do you want to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I seriously think these are conversations that are had that you would have to have. Let's say uh, 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 Eric Weinstein, I think he's right that they might have classified a whole area of physics, right? And with new physics, as usual, I think maybe you guys can check me on this, but when we figure out new types of physics, we that type of math that's done in those physics trickles down into different things like metallurgy, like I said earlier, like somebody has an idea, and off this idea, if you're the first one on this idea, like you get a group of scientists and he has a eureka movement. If you do this and this and this and this, we can technically do this, da da da, and there's a eureka moment, and everybody starts feeding off that. Oh my God, that means this, and this is possible, and I think that's what they were trying to stop. If that's what's going on, again, like if physics is being subverted, this is how you would have to do it, because all you would have to do is like this one phrase, like E equals MC squared, and nobody know that there's a dash 38 thing to the fourth power, thunk thunk thunk. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know that the equation is not complete. Or it's like E equals MC squared divided by time, you know, or E equals MC divided by time squared to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, that type of shit. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Oh, hell yeah. Born classified means some new physics never see the light of day. Yeah. And imagine you have something that's classified that nobody has thought of. You can name it anything because nobody would be able to think of, like, imagine this stuff is classified, but since nobody knows the name of it, you can't FOIA the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know it exists. Yeah. Let's see. Let's finish this up.
Questions about it, because it does seem on the face of it very odd, very hard to explain, and potentially very sinister. So I agree with you. I think the media should be asking questions about it, and we'll see where those questions lead, as we will see where these files, when they get released, lead in terms of public understanding of UFOs. But for now, Congressman, I'll leave it there, and thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thanks, sir. I'm a big fan of yours, and I just for the record, I collect old British motorcycles. I got a bunch of old Bonnevilles. I got a BSA.
Really?
And oh yeah, I love British motorcycles. I love the sound, and I love getting off my bike, have a little oil underneath it, and smelling like gasoline and a little exhaust. So I got a '64 Bonneville, '67 let's see, a 72 Bonneville. I've got a couple others, but my favorite bike's my 1972 BSA. That was the last year they made it.
That's what's up, bro. I don't know. I don't know. There's no more UFO stuff on YouTube, I think. Let's go over here, right? Right quick. We're going to go to my page where we got everything popping. Let me refresh. Because there's a couple posts I want to talk about. If a perfect moral man entered this world, he would be humiliated and impaled. Plato, 400 years before Christ. Dun dun dun. There you go. Is Plato a prophet? Burleson right here.
I was briefed on an event that occurred.
I forgot his name earlier, but Burleson. Let's see. I think I got the full interview somewhere around here. We can react to that too.
I was briefed on an event that occurred where they basically tried to set up a perfect case scenario where that would cause UAP to come in and then to capture them or to try to try to document them or record them, and it was very successful. So this is
Now, who was talking about this? I remember this being talked about. That was it Lukaski? Was it Lukaski that was talking about this? That they used nuclear material to try and bring UFOs in, and it fucking worked automatically. Like they didn't even have to do much. Like they were able to capture, information and all that. I remember this being talked about.
this is when this only happened a few months ago, and this is when the whole conversation changed because that event was one that no one could deny. There were so many people that witnessed these things, and these were all credible people working in our top intelligence sector, and they brought me in and briefed me on this almost within a few days or weeks after this event happened. So, which is, I feel that was nice that they did that. They knew that I was researching this topic. Since then, that is the briefing that everybody wants.
Yes.
So the other members of Congress have heard about this. Leader Scalise wanted the briefing. He got the briefing along with a couple of other members. I had only told Leader Scalise about this, and now everybody wants.
Let them all figure out what's going on together. Maybe they'll have a State of the Union type of situation. And just kind of break everything down. Everybody will have already been I guess briefed, right? Everybody that's in Congress that same night, they'll take them in the back and be like, all right, guys, listen, this is what's going to happen tonight. We're giving you the briefing. As of right now, nobody can use their phone and nobody can leave until the president does his fucking speech. We're all gonna file into the fucking, Congress Hall, and he's gonna give the speech, and the people are gonna listen, and we're gonna unite. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna come in with a whole bunch of stars and stripes and shit on their jacket, and they're gonna come in there and sit everybody down and give them a briefing on the existence of non-human intelligence and how they've been interacting with humans for the last 5,000 years, as far as we can remember. And we're gonna walk the public through it. So y'all gotta hold y'all shit together, so the public doesn't lose their shit. All right, fat boy? And this is David Wilcock, right? Apparently, he just died by suicide. Allegedly, there was a disturbance, and the police were called, and he was outside with a gun, and he used the gun on himself. That is from what I understand, what is going on. Um, why was he outside with a gun? Was he chasing somebody? Was he having some type of fucking mental? Did he hurt somebody in his house? Like what is going on? But this is a piece about him. We're in a spiritual reality. The world is a cosmic classroom, and its purpose is to teach us to love one another. Um, we could watch it. Fuck it.
David, through our radio show and through our Gaia shows, we are dealing with millions of people.
That's absolutely
millions of people. What one major thing would you like them to take away from anything they've heard us talk about over the years?
We are in a spiritual reality. The world is a cosmic classroom, and its purpose is to teach us to love one another. If you can absorb that basic lesson and begin applying it to every aspect of your life, you are now authorizing the positive aspect of this spiritual drama that we're talking about to work for you. That includes very real, very powerful, benevolent, extraterrestrial or angelic beings that will start to give you synchronicity, that will start to create financial abundance, spontaneous prosperity, that will start to find you the love that you...
The holy alien spirit will create spontaneous. But this is very much, you put good vibes out, you'll get good things in return. That's really what the whole conversation is on this one. And I'm not mad about it. Like, I don't, like, you don't know much about him, Data. I don't know much about him. I can't lie. I have seen him in the ancient UFOs, I think, the ancient alien things before. But again, this is very this is like a mix of like Christian and and Buddhist and ufology mixed, if that's what it is. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I hate leaving the thing on dead air. I should have just played I should have left y'all with some tunes. It wasn't right. I apologize. Yeah, like maybe he knows something, but is translating it for the average person. Right. I mean, possibly. Possibly. What is this telling me here? Am I being told something? Did I do something naughty? Did I do something bad? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't. I hope I didn't do nothing bad. Oh shit, what happened? Did I hit back on that? No. Oh no, that was on Twitter. All right.
You want the people that you need in your life to be happier. If you create that seed, you plant the seed and the universe will flower it out into a much greater gift, a bounty of joy and happiness and peace. But the trick is, you don't get to control people, you don't get to be manipulative. We are in a glass ceiling. But there's a deeper level too, and that deeper level is that the spiritual community sees everything in your mind, every thought that you have, they know.
Right.
So then it becomes very clear, like, why wouldn't you want to be a loving person? Is it so hard to be kind? Is it so hard to want to help people out, to try to have loving thoughts about them, even when they're acting in a way that's very manipulative and negative? So when somebody does that stuff, when somebody's acting negatively towards you, the key is not to return it with negativity, but to have healthy boundaries, to say no, to not allow yourself to be walked on, but to do it with a respectful, loving consciousness.
Sounds like.
So, I mean, like, that's not in itself a bad message, right? And when you look at it, he does have a BS in psychology, not a dumb person. Right. So what he also, the way he framed it, right? In this higher level, people can see what you're thinking. So at that point, there are certain questions that you have to be able to not answer for others, but you got to be able to answer for yourself. Why? And that's a question nobody ever really asked themselves. Like, why am I thinking of this or like this? Like, all right, I don't like fucking, I don't know, I don't like okra, right? I don't like okra. Why don't I like okra? I had to ask myself this question before, and it came down to I was traumatized with okra. My mom one time made okra. I was not ready. I didn't understand that it was slimy. She cut it up, and it looked cool. And I said, yeah, I'll try it. And it was slimy, and I remember ever since then, every time I think of it, I get sad, and I fucking hate that shit. But those are questions you would have to ask yourself about all types of things, like people that hate women, or women that hate men, people that are racist, if you're just naturally lazy, or if you have any of these sins, right, the quote unquote sins, like you're angry, your temperament, what makes you angry? You know what I'm saying? And you can read Carl Jung. He talks about your shadow. When you get mad, when you don't like somebody, it's because something about them is triggering that inner you that reflects something about you, and you don't like looking at that mirror. So I guess that's the message the brother got. Timber says that we have lost our almost non-existent will to fight. I say that's because the people have become conditioned to be sheep. Our society is based on materialism and vanity, and our justice and political system is based on money and influence. That only breeds corruption, fraud, and deception. I mean, I thought this was pretty good. And you guys see, I get so many likes everywhere. Tim Pool, it's all fun and games in politics until you get elected and then meet the people from the future that control our government, and you are helpless. And to be honest, that's hilarious. That's funny. It would only be funnier if at this point that wasn't something that was, a possibility. Like at this point, like all of this shit might actually be happening. And okay, so we got let's do this real quick, because we got Mr. John fucking Stewart. So this is how it started. I seen this shit, right? And it's like, yo, this is obviously not real. Like, I mean, you can literally look at it and know. One of the first things you should know about videos that are not real, they are very short. That's it. A person that was like, yo, listen, I was just doing this, that, and the third, and here's a 5-minute video, and it fucking happened for 40 seconds, but this is before and after. You would be able to have all of that shit, right? If real, it's jaw dropping. If real, this is the little squiggly way of trying to get little views and shit, but like, why? Jon Stewart is somebody that has ran around with this whole alien movie is real, his whole fucking life and built around that. And he maintains this idea that I'm telling the truth, but turns around and starts posting shit like this. Like, what are we doing? Exactly. So it's like what is the point? Like, why are you doing this? It's just stupid. Like, maybe even if you uh even if you go to the joint and be like, hey, look, this is an old AI clip of a UFO, and and say some bullshit about it. But let people know, like, this is, I can tell it's fake, but there's some dumb fuck somewhere that doesn't know that this is, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want those type of people in ufology, misinformed people. Like, you're literally creating misinformation. So I say, okay, finally I'm following this guy with these stupid ass AI videos. This is the problem with ufology. And he says, if anyone needs help on following me, please DM me and I can walk you through the process. Thank you for playing. Your Uncle John. And I don't like this whole, Uncle John thing he got going on, son. Let me know if you need help not posting a bunch of fake shit. You're only hurting the UFO movement with this stupid fake shit looking to get some views. Fuck off, dude. Seriously. That was it. And here we go. Here we go. Honey, mommy's calling for you. For your info, your macaroni and cheese upstairs is getting cold. So put down the PlayStation controller and go eat your mommy's nutritious meal. And then later, on you and your friends play Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, later when you and your friends play Dungeons and Dragons and watch free porn and troll successfully guys like Jon Stewart. What the fuck is he talking about, son? Like, I'm saying, bro, I'm saying you're putting out fake shit. Stop that. And your thing is like, yeah, this guy lives in his basement with his mom and he plays PlayStation all day. Wrong on all accounts. But regardless of the point, this is your go-to argument because somebody pointed out the self-projecting much, right? like this is one of the problems. Now, what I'm saying is stop posting that shit. Like, why? You're somebody that's supposed to be trying to get to the truth. Why? So I said, okay, can't respond. Right. So I said, can't respond on the actual facts, so you go to personal attacks. Okay, I can do that. Suck my dick, you goofy ass, fake UFO pushing, balding and can't let go ass, hoping to get the last payday before everyone sees your full of shit ass, old ass, tired ass, I live in the basement with your mom, insult throwing ass motherfucker. Mad at me cause yo bitch won't fuck you. You fucking loser. This motherfucker like 65 years old, still posting fake UFO videos, ass clown. And I said this nigga like 65 years old, but came out motherfucker. Either way. That's it. And it's like, fuck out of here. If you and going back to the David Wilcock, I don't say that with hate. I say that as posting a boundary. All right? Like, this is a boundary. You can't walk all over me like you do these other guys. I'm not getting in the mud with you out of hatred. I'm getting in the mud to make sure you don't pass these lines again. You know? Can't even. So, let's get to chopping this fable. Uh, right? So, Syria UAP effects do not precede causes. This video analysis demonstrates how UAP debunker Mick West makes demonstrably false claims to assert a false causality. 3 lines of evidence UAP maneuvering, acceleration, IR signature indicate a highly anomalous object incident. So we're gonna listen to this. It's a little bit low.
A new UAP video released by
So let's go.
video released by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp shows an oddly shaped object much colder than its surroundings, appearing to break an infrared lock, maneuver, and then suddenly, instantaneously accelerate to disappear off the screen. Now, UAP debunker Mick West claims that apparent instantaneous acceleration, that rapid zipping off effect, is nothing more than a change in the
I'm about to go through that phenomena. I'm about to go through that right now.
Camera's motion. Unfortunately for West, however, every single statement or claim that he makes to support that assertion is demonstrably, verifiably, blatantly false, and we will demonstrate that in the data and in the video itself. In short, West's entire argument boils down to camera motion that occurred after the object began moving is responsible for the object moving, which of course is nonsensical. After all, an effect cannot precede the cause. Now, thanks to one of our scientist friends, we have extremely precise data that shows exactly what the camera was doing at every single point in the video, and in particular, what occurs when the object begins that apparent instantaneous acceleration, that zipping off motion.
This is the kryptonite when it comes to people like Mick West. I remember Mick West tried to debunk the Kamburgas video as like some type of reflection of a ship, or like some type of, you know, that the ships look like they're in the air. But this was the problem. I can't remember this guy's name. I think it was Chris Lato. He went live and he did the trigonometry to try to figure out like how high off the ground this thing was supposed to be, or how big the ship would have to be in order to blah blah blah. Well, it came out that it didn't work because the ship would have to be bigger than anything we have on stock, like bigger than anything we've ever built. I forgot the exact measurements, but it clearly showed he did the trigonometry. People were live. He was streaming live. People were, you know, verifying the numbers that he was coming up with real time. Yeah. And the Kamburgas video still stays as one of the most clearest evidence for, I think, like a great UFO video type shit that you want. Yes, Kamburgas video. By far. Even I would put the Kamburgas videos, because it's not just one. I would put the Kamburgas videos as the best videos, unless these, you know, I sound like Trump. The best videos. Kamburgas has the best UFOs you could ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. They have absolutely amazing designs. Let's get back to this, man.
Now, West argues that the camera suddenly started panning upwards, and that is what caused the object to appear to accelerate rapidly off the screen. But when we take a closer look, we see that the camera's vertical motion noted by this red line, only changes and changes dramatically after the object begins its apparent instantaneous acceleration, or that zipping off effect. In other words, the camera's upward motion could not have explained the object beginning its zip off. And we can demonstrate that this vertical motion occurred after the zip off in several different ways. But before we move on, we must, and this is critical, we must highlight that West intentionally conflates these two incidents. He conflates the object beginning its acceleration and the change in the camera's vertical motion, and he claims that they occurred at the same exact moment, when that is clearly false. Every single statement here, which underpins West's theory, is objectively and verifiably false. Now, let's demonstrate.
Now, before he does the demonstration, what would it take at this point for Mick to just be like, okay, yeah, it shows, movements, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand what is the end game for West on this.
Demonstrate visually how the camera's motion changed after the object began its apparent instantaneous acceleration. Here we see the object at the instant, the very, very moment, down to the frame where it begins its apparent acceleration. You'll notice that the tracking mode is listed on the left as rate. A few frames later, we see the object traveling roughly horizontally across the screen, and the tracking mode is still listed as rate. Just a few frames later, we see that the tracking mode shifts to rate G, and at that precise moment, that precise instant, down to the frame, the object's apparent trajectory shifts downward in a downward diagonal direction, which is precisely what we would expect if the camera's vertical motion changed dramatically. And lo and behold, that is precisely what we see in the data. We see that the camera's vertical motion changes at this exact moment in the video. Now, importantly, this change in vertical motion, which Mick West claims caused the object to appear to accelerate instantaneously, occurred again after the instantaneous acceleration begins. And a slightly different way to illustrate this, if the camera's sudden vertical motion had caused the object to appear to accelerate instantaneously, the object would have proceeded along this downward trajectory from the very, very beginning. Instead, it proceeds along this horizontal path and then proceeds along that downward trajectory after the camera changed its vertical motion. And this can be demonstrated in yet another way. When we scrub through the footage, we see that there is a lateral component to the background motion as the object begins its instantaneous acceleration. However, when the object passes that point where its trajectory changes, we see that the background motion is straight down, which is exactly what we would expect with vertical camera motion. Just to summarize briefly, West claims that a change in camera motion which occurred after the object began moving is responsible for the object moving, which is an impossibility. Once again, an effect cannot precede a cause. Another element of this footage that is perplexing and frankly intriguing is the object appearing to break the infrared sensor lock and maneuver off to the left here, despite lacking wings, control surfaces, or any conventional means of propulsion. And it's particularly interesting because the object appears to break the...
And Mick would claim it's some type of malfunction, or that the gear didn't start moving off when it was supposed to. Some type of bullshit like that. Guarantee you, I'd fucking bet my balls on it if I had to.
Lock while the background motion is constant. That suggests, and the data show this, that suggests that there is no change in camera motion, which is very, very interesting. And last but certainly not least, the object's infrared signature is truly bizarre and truly perplexing. The object is much, much colder than its surroundings. It's uniformly cold, and it's entirely inconsistent with all of the empirical evidence that we have of balloons in infrared. Of course, Mick West claims that this is a balloon, but if
I bet he would.
any evidence at all, any empirical evidence of balloons in infrared that look anything remotely like this object, he must present it. And finally, it must be reiterated that Mick West resorted to demonstrably, verifiably, blatantly false statements and claims to make his so-called case. There is nothing objective nor scientific about such an approach, and when I asked West to discuss this live on camera, he refused to do so, which I suspect is telling.
Yeah, it's very telling. So let's get over here to where he falsified. Hold on, where is it at? What's going on, everybody? We live. Please like, share, appreciate all that shit. Where is it? Hold on, where is it? Cause Mick West actually responded to me. That was the crazy part. Here we go. Oh no, this ain't it. Sorry. This is the Jon Stewart saga. I apologize. Let's get back at that. Where the fuck? Here we go. Debunker gets caught falsifying data and info. Here we go. So, UAP debunker Mick West caught cheating. West falsified data from the Syria UAP video to make the object's instantaneous acceleration appear to be an artifact of camera movement. His 3D sim deviates from the true data the instant the UAP accelerates. Shameful. Pre-acceleration deviation -1. And he's showing you the numbers here. Whatever that means for the people that understand. And he's pointing at something down here. Right? Post-acceleration deviation -6. Post-acceleration deviation -8. So he put the minus up to fit his narrative. Post-acceleration deviation -11. God damn. He fudged the numbers. Bang, got him. So yeah, yo, you know what? That's crazy, son. Yo, what if he's doing what if he's basing this off video game? How would we check if he's basing his analysis on this military drone based on video game physics? How could we verify? Oh my God, could you imagine that's true? Jesus Christ. You continue to either misunderstand or misinterpret this, maybe both. Right? So let's go back over here where Mick West, it's unfortunate that Merrick would take this misunderstanding of numerical difference and immediately say I'm cheating. The sim in this case is driven by the number. Oh, fuck. Dude, why is he doing this? Why not just do it? See, this is on purpose. This is on purpose. Where is the other levels of when the camera started moving? why is he not showing? And it's why is he not showing the camera movements? And he's got it already locked in here, and he changed it. So is he saying that the simulation gave him? Hold on, let me look at this again. I understand science. I just think it's ridiculous when motherfuckers want to write these long ass things out when they could just put it in a nutshell. The sim, in this case, is driven by the number on the on-screen display in the video. The two numbers are the easting and northing positions at the meter resolution within a square of terrain. The system lacks a DEM, a digital elevation model, and is locked at assuming the ground is at that virtual point derived from the OSD. So this motherfucker has a cap on his virtual. Yeah. Now he's gonna tell you where I'm estimating how high up was, and I'm. Hold on. I hadn't read this. I'm sorry, y'all. I looked at it and I said I'm not even trying to hear all this shit. But this motherfucker just told me that his system lacks a DEM, a digital elevation model, feet underground, is used to calculate a line of sight from the MQ9. That's what drives the camera. That's what creates a zip off. No cheating there. Bullshit. The numbers in the sim differ because the OSD numbers are not the true numbers. They only change every few frames. We see the camera move continuously. It does not jump and then freeze every few frames. The motion is not jerky or stepped. It's smooth curve. Mavic shows 4 frames where the OSD is at 9,000, but the sim numbers go from 49 frame to 56 frame. This is because the frame OSD changes to 60. So in between it must physically be increased. No. Homeboy, you no. What he's trying to do is get a technical here. Like technically, the numbers were. Yeah, it's video game physics. Yeah. He's saying, well, the numbers weren't jumping on step, so there's no way to tell that what was going on at the actual point was what the actual numbers say. So there is an actual difference. So he's interpreting this difference into a buffer zone. You know what I'm saying? Like he was able to turn the 7 or 6 to 7 or 6 to 8, whatever the fuck it was, difference, right? The minus 6 to 8 zone that was created, I guess mistake zone maybe, I don't know. He turned it into 11 because he says that's a better estimate. That's a better estimate. And it's only a better estimate because it fits within his argument. Why not 9 or 10? 11 because it fits his argument. So the true reality of the situation is lost. I didn't even see that it said that. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, fucking Mick. The real we don't know who the real number. Yo, I literally said. Oh shit, son. That's wild. Oh, you see, I'm doing a straight line interpretation. We'll still have improv discontinuities. Oh man. Get the fuck out of here. False. Look, Mary came right in. Oh. Estimate was a good clue. He is also ignoring the non-local nature of the universe, basically general relativity stuff. Oh, that's wild. Hold on a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me put some tunes on for you.
You know I got it, I got what you need right here.
Yo, that's crazy work, son. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. I'm happy I didn't read it. I'm happy y'all got my real reaction to this shit. That's it's not even the most accurate. The true reality of the situation is lost. And we only have these imperfect recordings. You see, I'm doing straight line interpretation. You see, I'm doing straight line interpretation, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, that's crazy work. That is crazy work. False, Mick West, and you know it. The camera background moves further vertically only after the object begins acceleration and what the fuck? Accelerating. See below. Your manipulation aside, this is confirmed 100% in the data. Causality 101. Effects, acceleration, cannot proceed, causes, change in camera motion. Boom. Like what the fuck is he talking about? Like even listen, I'm a stupid motherfucker and I understand that. I understand that. I don't start if a motherfucker starts running, I don't fucking move. When he, at the same time as him, I see the motherfucker move, then I look. Same thing with a fucking camera. You need to have some type of motion in order to get attention. Like if we're in a crowded room, right? Everybody is wearing fucking white, right? And I decide to just hold up a fucking black flag in the air. Everybody will turn to look at the flag. They're not, until the flag is in the air, they're not gonna, or until they see somebody else's head turn. Like it's not just gonna happen at the same time to do it. There's gonna be a difference in space. God damn it, I'm fucking stupid and I can figure this out. Fucking Mick.
And this can be demonstrated in yet another way. When we scrub through the footage, we see that there is a lateral component to the background motion as the object begins its instantaneous acceleration. However, when the object passes that point where its trajectory changes, we see that the background motion is straight down, which is exactly what we would expect with vertical camera motion. And this can be demonstrated in yet another way. When we scrub through the footage, we see that there is a lateral component to the background motion as the object begins its instantaneous acceleration.
Dude, if I had the ability to really sit down and condense this, oh man, I just wish I had a bigger channel so I can just show everybody this shit. Like, this guy's a fucking... Stop listening to Mick West. The best thing y'all can do to Mick West is just leave him alone. Like, dude, I did a episode that I recently put up on the YouTube channel. It was when I did the pro-government conspiracy theorists. And there's a lot of these people that are debunkers that have to keep up the real conspiracy, which is that there's nothing to see here. Like, it's gotten to the point where we can literally point at things like this. Like, how much more do you want I mean, listen, they showed us the Mosul orb. Like, you want to talk about anomalous behavior, anomalous movement, a metal fucking ball just flying across the sky in the middle of fucking Afghanistan or Baghdad or wherever the fuck Mosul is. Like, it's not anomalous enough for you, dude? Like, are you fucking kidding me? A giant fucking ball just floating the thousands, fucking hundreds, or maybe several thousand feet in the air, just floating across it is not mysterious enough for you, Mick. Are you gonna tell me that sometimes, even though it's very improbable, when seagulls have had way too much oysters, they shit out a supersonic ball that will travel the earth several times before falling off into the ocean somewhere? Like, yeah, he focuses on the BS. Listen, Mick West is the king of debunking things nobody asks him to. Like, he's the king of debunking things that nobody's watching. Like, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, you know, this guy posted a video where he's claiming that it's a fucking UFO dragon and all that, but it's really a fly in front of his jaw. You go look at the video, the fucking guy has 1,000 views on the video, and it's like, man, get the fuck out. You got more views debunking this than the motherfucker did trying to post it. Like, it's just ridiculous. And then when he does try to debunk certain things that like the Kamburgas I said earlier, it's the same thing that's happening here. He has been shown to be incorrect several times, and he just starts finding something else to nitpick about. That's all it is. So yeah. Yeah. That's entirely different claim from the first one. One thing at a time, please. What do you mean? I assume you're retracting your claim that I falsified data. No, you falsified data. Absolutely not, Mick. Here we go. Absolutely not, Mick. Your interpolation consists of falsified data to fit your preferred conclusion. We can prove that you falsified data. Background camera motion changes the instant the MGRS northing data jumps. UAP accelerates before camera motion changes. Bang! And he's showing them right here.
And this can be demonstrated in yet another way. When we scrub through the footage, we see that there is a lateral component to the background motion as the object begins its instantaneous acceleration. However, when the object passes that point where its trajectory changes, we see that the background motion is straight down, which is exactly what we would expect with vertical camera motion. And this can be demonstrated in yet another way. When we scrub through the footage.
LOL. More precise analysis. The last defense of a losing debunker. So yeah, man. I think Mick West has lost on this. The same thing with the gimbal. Same thing with the gimbal video. He lost. He just straight lost. Let's go back to the likes. What's going on over here? I wanted to show y'all something. Yeah, he's all up. They're all talking about probably the, we're definitely going to talk about the Tridactyls. What is this? As I said, those who don't want to believe the facts will resort to similar excuses. Even Ashton has stated that. Listen, this is the thing with the whole fucking MH370 thing. Listen, I'm not trying to hear any of that shit that y'all got going on with this. The videos that y'all are putting are not the same as the videos look. The planes are not the same, son. You can't tell me, yeah, I recreated it. Why don't they look the same? Why don't they look the same? The coloring's off. They should be the same, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's very easy to recreate by fucking, putting that shit in some AI to, redo it or show me the fucking not the black and white, the fucking infrared video. Do the whole thing, bro. Do the whole thing. That's it. Go do the whole thing. What the fuck is this? The UFO shit. Like I'm not defending any of that shit. All I'm saying is that nobody's been able to replicate the motherfucker. Like that's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Where the fuck is this at? Where the fuck? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Is very possible, right? Yeah. So check this out. I said this is going to be the future. Let me see. Does this have music? No, right? But look around. Look at this shit. It's a fucking a UFO religion store. Yeah, if you believe in Jesus, then you believe in aliens, bro. That's it. That's it. You believe in aliens? You believe in UFOs. So check that shit out. It's on my page. You guys can check it out. Here, I'll share it again. Go to the page, check it out. What we got going on here? This fucking guy. Graves is the new black, right? Oh yeah, this was remember, they're all making it up. And Bob Lazar, Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, Bill Cooper, and all these other people are just making things up for shits and giggles. I think we listened to this.
I was briefed on an event that occurred where they basically tried to set up a perfect case scenario where that would cause UAP to come in and then to capture them or to try to try to document them or record them, and it was very successful. So
Yeah.
this is when
Yeah, don't worry. It was the first time they had ever tried it. It was the first time they've made any type of contact. Don't worry. This never happened before. All these stories about the presidents. No. Listen, we did it. This is the first time, guys. This is the first time. That's what's really going on, man. And I know this has a delay on it. I'm gonna look through the notifications. I want to try to get past this delay. I know it's a couple seconds, but I want to try to get it low as I can. Right. Bang. Let me see. What's going on? We live, pull up. Our boy Science Bob, real scientists admit when they're wrong. I was wrong about the meteors. Something weird is happening. There you go, meteor surge. Okay. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get that shit, get that shit cut down to 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Because I got a phone over here that I usually look to, like periodically. I'm looking through the timeline and shit, and I'll check the stream, but it be looking like I'm mad late. But it also throws me off, like I'm over here, like, oh my god, like I gotta wait for myself. Like, no, motherfucker, just talk. Wait for myself to catch up so I can start talking again. Where the fuck was that thing I wanted to? Hold on. Remember when we're getting this up? Okay, fine. Where is it? It is. It's one shot in UFO research. It really is. That ass. That ass. Yeah, hold on. I'm happy I seen this. What more evidence do you want than this? Huh? Fucking metal ball flying through the air? What more fucking evidence do you need? The fuck? There we go. We gotta make this big. Now, hold up. I know you guys can't see the whole screen, so let me. Like, that's a whole ass ball. That's a ball. That's a whole ball just flying to the sky. You see the little fuzzy thing here? I don't know if that might be an artist. Yeah, it's really just shining things. Nah, hold on. That's something flying around it. You see that? That's something flying around it. You think that could be an artifact, guys? Am I bugging here? Has somebody already looked at that? What the fuck is that? Because what the fuck could be shining on top, blocking the light on top of it that big? Right? Look at that. Am I bugging? It looks like it has some. Let me see. Looks like it has some type of field. Right. Right. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm not crazy. You see how is how? Hold on. Hold on. Ooh. Look at the space right here. I don't know if you guys can't see my mouse. I had put it to turn the mouse off, so I don't think you guys can see my mouse. But between the house and the ball, you see the black little shadow. But the black little shadow is hovering above it, and that's not part of the tree because as we move, look, you see, that's not the tree. Look at the tree color. Is that making a shadow? Is the light shining off of this creating a shadow on the tree? You guys think that could be an excuse for that? How big would this have to be to make a shadow that big on a tree? But we don't see the shadow anywhere else, right? We don't see a shadow on the roof, do we? No. It's just blurring the screen out. Look. I'm pointing at the fucking screen. But I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm bugging. Can somebody tag Merrick? Like, what is this? Look at it. Look. It disappears when it's over the house. You see a little fuzziness on the house part, but it's almost like a camouflage. And over certain colors, it looks like it just creates darkness. So green would make it look black. Hold on, let's test this. Right? When it goes to the green, there's plenty of black. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. There's some green here. Look, look, look. What the fuck is this? Look. Huh. There is this little black thing floating around it, though. The shadow on the ground would be very hard to see, right? Bowling ball size with distortion field mechanics. I don't think that's a shadow, but light is bending around the object somehow. Could be video compression also, right? Because if this is like a metallic ball, it would be, shining, right? So maybe that's fucking with it. This is why I also keep the phone so I can fucking see comments when I'm doing something like this. I mean, this is clearly this is like a residential area. This is clearly a residential area. But I wish to ask. Look at the field on the street too. It reacts off that. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Once it get around here, right? Over here, it just kind of, you see that misses that part, but I don't know, man. I mean, the crazy part is they don't want to give us the full video. But if they're able to give us a video of something like this in this type of definition, they got a lot more. It reflects off the street. Go back to the street. Hold up, I'll take it back a couple of steps. Right there. I think a little bit further. Right here. Or that's the sidewalk. This is the street. I see something white down here. You see that? Could that be an artifact? Huh. What if I need to show you how to download these videos and load them into VLC. I don't know what that is. But this is wild. But let alone that, right? Fuck all this weird distortion around this motherfucker, right? Let's throw all that gravity well mechanics. 75% sure. Okay. Well, listen, let's throw all that in the trash just for the argument's sake that they could say, yo, this is some type of fucking this is a artifact, right? It's a ball flying around in the sky. It's a metal ball, just flying around the sky. And you can't explain to me how it was flying around in the sky. What more? I mean, these motherfuckers talking about anomalous behavior. So you telling me a fucking proximate bowling ball size metal ball, probably bigger than that. Because, perception is a motherfucker. But we also don't know how high up this plane was. We don't know the measurements. But I would say a couple thousand feet. Maybe, right? Were there eyewitnesses, right? Great question. This is somewhere in fucking Iraq or something like that, called the Mosul Orb. It's a ball flying through the air. It's a ball flying through the air for no apparent reason. Mind you, we stopped using cannonball 100,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody in Mosul letting off cannonballs, bro. And the trajectory on this ball was very consistent. It wasn't like a ball that was falling. It was extremely consistent, and it wasn't moving at the speed you would see with a motherfucking cannonball would be flying by. And to be honest, there's more video to this. They caught this because they were watching something. They were watching something that these things were interested in. It. So yeah. When you spin it like this, look, you see something going around in a circle. There's something going around it, bro. Yeah. Do you think this could be like one of them plasmoids Dr. Screen is always screaming about and shit like that? Look at it. Yeah. I mean, why Mick West ain't never try to debunk that? So, let's see. Nazca mummies. This was about where is it? Debunker gets caught falsifying data. Yeah, fuck that guy. So check this out, man. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out, check it out, check it out. The creatures in the new movie, the aliens in the new movie are tridactyls, baby. And look at the proper hand measurements and shit. Looks like they studied this shit. I think this is fucking great. Oh man, it's gonna be a good day if we find out that, you know, Nazca mummies are extraterrestrials. Dun dun dun. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that like the space and all that shit, man. I appreciate y'all, B. That ass. Let's go see what's going on in the wild world of Twitter. What's going on here? Hey, Mick West, is it true in your analysis that you purposely cut audio and quiet? Yes. 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 He did it because he thinks everyone is lying about everything when it comes to UFOs. I guarantee you he's talking about the gimbal. Because hearing a radar operator, right? Hearing a radar operator saying, "Look at them, dude. It's a whole fleet of them," would destroy his argument before he made it. That's it, buddy. You're on the right track. Eric Weinstein. And now you know that I know now that you say that your friends that I know that you say are my friends now know that you know now know he cooked it. cooked them. Hey Jess, how are you? Oh, that was hilarious. Are they still arguing if the vertical background camera motion coincided with the object's acceleration? I would agree with you, McWest. But the UAP acceleration before background camera motion changes. This is confirmed to the frame by MGRS data, trajectory change, rate G operating. They say never used before, but cones, bells, shaped stuff been around since before electricity. Modern day. Facts. Facts. Yeah, I'm sure Sephardi know, but he's not allowed to say anything. He's got to play dumb. Oh shit! Really? David Wilcock's biographer died just days before David?
What we see here is a lot of interesting things going on, and it's a good thing. So, oh my gosh, it's sad to hear Winfrey just passed away. Bright butterfly wing. That is so weird, because last night, I was lying in bed and thinking, wouldn't it be sad if Winfrey passed away? He's the guy that wrote the Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce book with me. Last night I had that thought. I am not kidding you, and now you're telling me this. Lotus Girl says, I can't listen to your comedy. Well, sorry. Everybody really likes it. A couple people don't, but it's not very often. I think you'll be able to make it. I think you can make it. Anyway, a lot of people like it. Wow, so yeah, he was my co-author. I did not know that he passed away, but thank you for telling me. What we see here is a lot of interesting things going on.
Damn. Hey, yo, I'm dead. Yo, Nora be coming up with some fire shit, man. If y'all see Not Nora's channel, man, make sure y'all, following all that shit. She be coming up with some fire shit. What is this? Black people give 0 fucks. You gonna fight the mountain lion? I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that. Imagine the 9 dinosaurs ever existed after seeing this. Yeah? Looks like a fucking dinosaur. There is an extremely classified... Yeah, let's talk about this. Come on.
The thing is that there is an extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
Oh, come on, that's so weird. That's a lot.
I'm not asking you to say what you believe to be a fact. I'm asking you to say what you read in a report that is distributed at what may be the most top secret facility in the world. Okay. All right.
All right, I'll say it. It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers, and that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
The souls? Meaning?
Well, the souls or the bodies, whatever. Right? That's
meaning like we're containers for souls that they're going to use at some other point.
Right.
And that they had something.
Now, mind you, the guy interviewing inserted souls. Bob very clearly said souls or whatever, whatever it was. They called us containers. He never said souls. He said we are containers, but what are we containers of? Life energy. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Are we batteries the same way people were batteries in the Matrix? Is that what's going on? I know we're in the middle of a live, but if you all get a moment, this is my educated guess on what's happening right now with missing scientists. Okay, spit that shit. I'll read it out loud or tag me. Yeah. And you post something on. Bob sounds like he's talking about Gnostic ideas. Yeah, I mean, remember, all of this stuff comes from humans' earlier interactions with these beings. So it's very plausible that they've been just giving the same message across different eras and times, hoping that humans will be able to kind of process that and be like, okay, this is what they're telling us through different religions or different cultural aspects and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To leave post immediately. Iran attacks 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Oh shit. Hold on. Going
If
to
you
war?
frequently need to go to the bathroom late at night.
When was this? 40 minutes ago? We going to shit's heating back up? All right. All right, can y'all see all of this?
Tonight, Iran is accused of attacking.
Oh, okay, hold on. I thought I was gonna have to read this shit for y'all. My fault. Hold on.
Tonight, Iran is accused of attacking 3 container ships in the Strait of Hormuz, with the Revolutionary Guard claiming it seized 2 of the vessels over what it called maritime violations, saying they were operating without proper authorization. It may have been manipulating their navigation systems, posing a serious risk, they say, to maritime safety.
We have already spoken to the owner of the cargo ship and the company which is actually monitoring the ship. All seafarers are good in their health.
This action by the IRGC comes.
There you go. Stop playing with us. Pay that toll or you get in your shit. Engulfed in flames. CIA agents mysterious car crash. I don't know. Alex Jones was right. Oh man, y'all want to get into Asmongold? Do y'all fuck with Asmon? Do y'all know what this guy's about? What sounds more interesting? Invisible season 4 is good. I heard a lot of people talking about it. I gotta sit down and watch it. I've only ever watched the first season. That was it. Mass layoffs are coming. Yes, we're all fucking dead. We're all fucking dead. All right, you know what, guys? I'm hungry. I'm about to make myself something to eat. I'm gonna cut it out here. Yo, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate y'all 100%. And you know what? I'm gonna play y'all out with my favorite song. Hold on. One of my favorite songs. Where's it at? Bam. We're gonna go here. We go back one. Back one more. Right here. We're gonna play this out with this joint right here. You know what I mean? What? What are you doing? What is this? I didn't push this. What the They got pop-up ads now in Twitter and YouTube? What the fuck? Here we go. We're gonna put the volume up on this. Hold on. What's going on? Hold on. We gonna bang out, you know what I mean? We're gonna play us out for real, you know what I mean? Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna play the song out that we done.
Give me something I can feel, like the sky just so I can feel. If there's God in a wire, let it spark for me. Send a sign through the noise I breathe. Give me something I can feel, something realer than the way I feel. If there's God in a wire, let it speak for me. I've been waiting on a heart that beats. Grass a codeine in a crystal cup. Love turn ash when a flame too much. I've been rich, I've been lost, I've been both at once. Still the mirror keep asking what I want. Penthouse view, but the sky looked at. Whole world turns off when I lay my head. Got angels and Prada, demons and fur. They all sing loud, but the words still blur. If I fall, then I just play that song, the one that says we ain't here long. I don't need peace, I just need proof, oh, that the static can still be true. Give me something I can, like the sky.